and name, then send it to 7197. Your views, our interviews on Spectrum, Radio 1 FM 90.
Well, good evening, dear listeners. Welcome to Spectrum this Tuesday, February the 28th, 2012. And of course another day as we get together through the airwaves to discuss a number of issues that are affecting our country today. And our topic of discussion today is the mistrust between the opposition and the ruling NRM. Can the two sides overcome their differences and focus on transforming the country? Well, listeners, as you are aware, the struggle for controlling power in Uganda is leading to mistrust and bitterness between the opposition and the ruling NRM party. If you look at what has transpired recently, while the opposition and the ruling party are adversaries, democracy dictates that even if they disagree, they must in certain aspects agree in order to build the nation. But if you have noted that after the 2011 elections, the opposition refused to recognize President Museveni as an elected president of Uganda. And according to government, the opposition has since launched activities aimed at undermining the hard-won victory of the NRM. Among the evidence that is being tabled by the ruling party includes the walk-to-work protests, and now the campaign under the slogan, "Change is coming," and under what has been described by the executive as an illegal organization, that is the Activists for Change. Now, the mistrust between the two sides was evident in Parliament recently as the MPs debated the manner in which the police is handling opposition political activities. The opposition, on the other hand, has accused the NRM legislators and the executive. Now, the executive has accused the opposition, and recently the Prime Minister, who is also the Secretary General of the ruling NRM party, indicated that the opposition is using an illegal organization, that is the Activists for Change, and they are trying to create a replica of the Arab Springs, what has been happening in those countries where regime change has occurred through peaceful means. Now, as the opposition is a government in waiting, they are expected to present alternative views and constructive advice to the ruling party and the executive in particular. But the opposition is arguing that the government has failed to listen to them, and when they advise on how to deal with critical issues like corruption, political reforms, and independence of institutions, they are often misunderstood. Well, so today we bring you two sides to this issue, and with me in the studio I have Hon Philip Wafula Oguttu, who is a Bukholi Central Member of Parliament. He's also the spokesman of the Forum for Democratic Change, and he's at the same time the Shadow Minister of Information and National Guidance. Welcome, Honorable Oguttu.
Thank you very much, and good evening, listeners. I'm glad to be here after a long time.
Also in the studio I have Honorable Richard Todwong, Nwoya County Member of Parliament. He's also a former presidential advisor on Northern Uganda. Welcome, Honorable Todwong.
Thank you, and good evening, listeners, and good evening, my friend, Comrade Wafula Oguttu.
Good evening, Richard.
Now, of course, gentlemen, members of the public and the country at large is concerned about the animosity that is playing out between the opposition and the executive. And some legislators, the other day when you were debating the way the opposition political activities have been handled by police and the state in general, showed concern about how the situation was playing out, and many of them were heard saying that the disagreement, the mistrust between the opposition and the ruling government, the ruling NRM party, is not healthy for this new dispensation that we are in, the young multi-party dispensation. Let me begin with you, Honorable Wafula.
Yes, thank you very much.
What do you think is causing this animosity?
I don't know whether it is animosity. As from our side, as the opposition or minority in government, in parliament, and maybe outside, I don't know, maybe it's true, is that we want, we are already campaigning for next election. we want our business to make sure that the government gets out of power, and we need to recognize this the leadership, the election of President Museveni as president, part of my party FBC, because we think that he cheated elections, he bought the elections, and actually he's a minority leader. You know, about 58% of the Ugandans voted, and he got about 58% of that, right? He got 58% of that. So basically, he's a man. He got about 3 million votes out of 15 million or 14 million. So majority of Ugandans didn't vote for him. About 5 million. The others, some of them were stolen anyway. We bought them. But even granted it, he got 5 million votes. But that's 10 million not vote for him. They could have not voted for him because of other various reasons, but nevertheless they didn't vote for him. He can't say they support him. No. So he's a minority leader. Like it happens more when people are overstayed in power. So us would have minded if he won that neatly, free and fairly. But if he bought, this time we can say he didn't use a lot of brutality. He was very subtle. He emptied the Bank of Uganda. That's why we are suffering. He emptied the Bank of Uganda. NRM people poured so much money for 2 elections, for primary, which was for Secretary General downward, because he didn't stand himself, and then the major election. So we have a problem with it. We don't recognize him as a president of the Republic of Uganda, and we are saying he should listen. We are saying we want national dialogue to sort out this thing of elections in a country, and the transition, change of power from one country, one leader to another. We are dying to see that happen peacefully. We have never seen it.
Of course, you have enumerated a number of issues. You say he cheated in the elections. You also say he used a lot of money during the campaigns.
Everybody saw that.
But the question that the people from the ruling party are asking, and the question that a member of the public might ask you, if you had all this evidence, why didn't you go to court?
Apparently, we know we went to court in 2006, and we won the case literally, and the judge was shy because they threatened to nullify the election and we go for Iran, and they said the evidence wasn't substantive enough to change the results. But if somebody has stolen, he has stolen. If you steal a needle and you steal a car and you steal a bus, but all of 3 of you are thieves. And so the punishment cannot be, I can't punish you because you have stolen a needle and another has stolen a bus. You are both thieves. And we say he stole votes, and we proved that in court, that he stole votes. And since we try to reform the constitutional amendment, so that thing of substantive, the electoral law, so that thing of substantive evidence that is removed, that once you have proved that somebody has stolen a vote, has bribed, so be it, you are disqualified. We failed in the respect of the president. It applies to MPs. That's why we find everybody even one person proving that he bought he bribed, his election was nullified for MPs. But for president, they refused, and we said if they don't, then it is useless to go to court. And that's why we didn't go to court.
Of course, Honorable Todwong, you've heard what Honorable Wafula is saying. 2016 might be a little bit a few years away, but he tells you as the opposition, they have started campaigning for that election. Perhaps you are misreading their actions.
Thank you. I think I respect his views, and that is how they look at the spectrum of issues in Uganda. And no wonder we are looking at different pages, and that is where there is always conflict and tension and a lot of stampeding around. Whereas the opposition is looking at 2016, and they have started campaigns. NRM and President Museveni is back in the service delivery and the administration of the country, and the two are on different pages. And that's why every time the opposition wants to create stampede and want to create issues where there are no issues, go and provoke police, demonstrate, take rallies to markets, because to them it's campaign, and then it's good it has come out openly from my brother Wafula Oguttu.
You say it is a damage campaign.
It's a damage campaign. That's what I say. One, because they don't. They don't. I give you time and you stop.
Okay, what I just want you, when you say something, back it with the facts.
That's what I'm coming for.
Yeah,
you see, you rightly said. Indeed, it is very, very, very true that the President Yoweri Museveni is not a minority leader. He is a majority leader. 5 million votes. How many voters do you have in Uganda?
15.
We have 15,000.
Million.
15 million.
Yes.
Actually, the last time I checked, nobody seemed to agree on the number.
President Museveni, whatever the number is, President Museveni got 5 million and something. I don't remember the exact number. How many votes did you get as FDC, UPC? Some of them feel that to raise 100,000 votes. Now,
but he is telling you that the votes that you got were actually bought. And
no, I'm coming to that.
You used the machinery.
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. I want to give you just one classic example. Why do you think this time around Northern Uganda, and especially Acholis, voted overwhelmingly for President Museveni? In spite of Mao and Otunu contesting with the President Museveni.
50,000.
You know the history of that area, people are not easily bought.
50,000 shillings.
50,000
shillings were given to each household. They slept. I would give information. They would
then
50,000 shillings.
I would say
a post, a card,
no. We need to correct this before it is.
And then give it to all women. I hope their doors.
No, I don't believe that.
I think you are a member of the elected NRM force in the north.
In 2006, President Museveni did not get votes in the north, in Acholi especially. In 2000 and the recent elections, 2011, he got votes. In 1996, he didn't get votes. You mean to say by that time they didn't use money? NRM did not use money in the north? No, they used money. Money was used, and the money that was used, it was for basic facilitating a campaign, just like you used the money. Anyway, that is subsidiary. The issue here is we have our constitution. When you go to the national objectives and directive principles of state policy of our constitution, which is towards the preamble of the constitution, it states clearly roles of leaders, national leaders, regardless of whether you're in opposition, whether you're in a government, what are the principles and our directive principles of state policy. And two, this same constitution, Article 69, it clearly states the political systems that we are now operating under. There are 3 political systems that are accepted by the constitution, Article 69. One is the movement system, 2 is the multi-party system, the 3rd one is any other system, okay? So, we have already made it in the law. Now, we have adopted the multi-party political system. That's where they have their parties, we have our parties, and we compete for state powers, okay? It is, at the beginning you said, why are we having tension with opposition? I would be surprised if NRM was in bed with opposition. That would worry me and would worry Ugandans. It is good we have tension because one, I believe, though it is not seen, but I believe that FDC is founded out of different principles and ideologies other than NRM.
So you are saying FDC has no unarticulated ideology?
Let me conclude my point. I'm saying our manifestos were different. We went to the vote with the manifestos that were different. FDC had its own manifesto, UPC had its own manifesto, DP, JEMA, all these other parties, and NRM. Okay? So we went to this big market called Uganda, and we were selling our manifestos. So Ugandans bought NRM manifesto and said for the next 5 years we shall go with this. Now, under this constitution, definitely, even if, of course, we knew they would not accept that because theirs were not bought. But naturally, they should have really, have some dissent in understanding that the voices of the people that voted in the last election all gathered to support NRM and President Yoweri Museveni to lead Uganda for the next 5 years. Now, imagine it is you in power and someone is doing the same things you're doing now to undermine his authority, to undermine his regime, to undermine his election, to call for demonstration, to go to markets, to throw stones, to cause disorder, chaos. What would you feel? So, in that,
No, Honorable Oguttu.
There is need to be orderly. There is need for mutual respect. Then when we were swearing in the president, Besigye was coming from Nairobi, and the country was embarrassed. That was a national embarrassment. It wasn't for NRM, neither was it for the president. We had visitors. Even if you are quarreling with your brother in a home, and there is a visitor in the home, do you continue quarreling, throwing saucepans to each other? What happened that day? So really, to my appeal to my comrades in opposition, show respect, have restraint, because that is the same currency that you'll be treated with when you're in leadership, in case you become.
Honorable Oguttu, key issues from what Honorable Todwong was said. The election came and went. The NRM was given the mandate, and as they are embarking on delivering on their manifesto, you are running a deliberate damage campaign. To fail their just cause.
We are just doing our work. We haven't broken any law. That's why we're not. None of us has been jailed. They have arrested us. We have stayed. The other day, the last time I was Honorable Semuja and I were and the mayor were in Ginger Road Police. We said, please take out the cell, imprison us, take us to court. They don't have anything to charge us against because we are operating within the law. Everything we are doing is guaranteed by the law. He mentioned this. Honorable Richard is mentioning the return of Besigye.
From Nairobi.
Dr. Besigye wanted to come back a day before the visitors came. He was refused. They refused him, and eventually they allowed him to come back on the day of swearing again. That was the choice of the government.
But if we focus on the day that Dr. Besigye was returning, we will be dealing with the symptom. Let's deal with the problem that caused him to go.
Honorable Todwong is saying
the walk-to-work protest.
Yes, Honorable Todwong is saying walk-to-work is a form of struggle. I will tell you, in 80, I was in this country. I was an adult. There was an election. I was a journalist.
In
80. Yes. 81, I was teaching at Makerere University. And I guess the government was elected. Actually, many people believe he was elected. But the NRM was struggling against Dr. UP's government. NRM used to throw bombs. You know Chikubo?
NRM, UPM then.
NRM, there's no UPM. UPM had ended in 80. NRM, this Museveni, they were guerrillas in Budwero. They used to throw bombs at Chikubo there.
They were actually known as bandits.
Every day, they were the bandits. They used to throw bombs. Bombs, not just simple things. Bombs. Every other day in the afternoon, they would throw bombs.
How come that?
Now, and
how come that?
Geno Charigosa has written a book saying so. Geno Pecos Kutesa has written a book saying so. Geno Museveni has written a book saying so. They are proud of throwing bombs against a government which have been elected.
So that's killing people.
No. They were killing people. They were destroying business. Nobody would leave a thing in a shop. You have to carry your things home because most of you would have been younger then. That was a method of Museveni campaign. I mean, an NRM method of fighting.
But if NRM was doing here, then it was a weakness of the government in
No.
UPC was a weak government to control. How can someone come and throw a bomb in the center of the city?
Actually,
but in his country that is saying,
Konyi has been around for 21 years. It means he was in Uganda for 25 years.
Konyi subject is split it to you in details.
He was fighting government. And if Konyi had chosen urban guerrilla tactics, he would have destroyed the government from here. We're using bombs.
But anyway,
he didn't do that. Just a minute. What we are doing is we are having a civil disobedience. Civil disobedience is allowed. It's allowed. It's a form of struggle. It's peaceful. We don't throw anything. We don't carry weapons. We have chosen to use our bodies as shield for your bullets. That's what we are doing, and we are making a statement. Instead of going to the bush, we don't want to go to the bush. Instead of throwing bombs, we don't want to throw bombs. NRM did that for 5 years. Well, 300,000 people were killed in Loro after the end of that war. We don't want to go that way.
The Constitution has given us rights and freedoms and obligations.
Was there no Constitution? Was there no Constitution? Museveni went to the bush to do what he did?
I'm saying this constitution that made you come to parliament and carried out the elections is very clear. Okay? Where your right stops is where another right starts. If you're saying you're carrying out civil disobedience, you want to cause chaos and you want to do this.
We are causing chaos.
The rules are very clear. The police are telling you, Wafula Oguttu, we need to have your time and we also need to protect the ordinary citizens who are not part of what you're doing. There are people selling, there are people traveling in taxis, there are people in the streets here, but you want to bring your confusion in the center of the city. That is where you have problem with the police. But the police are saying
offer
your airstrip is free.
No.
Go there.
They don't allow us to go there. But
Right. We want you to put it in writing so that we help you.
To go together at a rally of FOC.
I will not oppose you there. I will never be there. I can never be in a rally that is undermining my government.
No. You will go for research.
No, I will not.
No. Can I just tell you? If you went there, or if you sent a spy, you would find that these rallies, if there's no police interfering, they start peacefully. People talk peacefully.
But no,
let me
FOC. FOC registered organization.
No, it's a
I'm afraid at this time we have to go for a commercial break.
When you are going, you have all your rights.
When we come back from this commercial break, we will continue with this debate and we will be able to understand whether the FOC is an illegal organization.
It's very illegal.
Or whether it is provided for in the Constitution of Uganda.
Totally illegal.
Special fares to the US, London, China, and India, with extra baggage allowance on selected flights. To book your flight, contact your local travel agent or call us on 041-7800-900 or book online at qatarairways.com/UG. Qatar Airways, world's 5-star airline. Terms and conditions apply.
John, Mike and I, we go back a bit. We knew John at the beginning, working for someone else. But he was different. He had vision, saw opportunities. He started working towards his goal, opened his own garage, and worked, learning the hard way. His reputation spread. Trust, consistency, quality. Soon people were coming to him from all parts. He made himself and his whole street prosper, and also helped friends, seeing potential in people and helping them on. But John never shouts about all his success. He's just who he is. Special.
So here's to men like John, who make a difference, who enjoy Nile Special, the rich, satisfying taste from the source. Nile Special. You've earned it.
Not for sale to persons under 18.
Spectrum on Radio 1 FM 90 is brought to you by Stanbic Bank.
Welcome back from that commercial break. Listeners, we are still discussing our topic this evening, the mistrust between the opposition and the ruling NRM. Can the two sides overcome their differences and focus on transforming this country? In the studio, we have the Honorable Philip Wafula Oguttu, Bukholi Central MP, spokesman of the Forum for Democratic Change, also Shadow Minister of Information and National Guidance. We also have the Honorable Richard Todwong, who is Nwoya County Member of Parliament. He's also a former presidential advisor on Northern Uganda. Just to give you a recap of what has been transpired, if you're just joining us now, Honorable Todwong stated that the problem that is persisting now in Uganda, this mistrust is simply being caused by the opposition, who are not ready to accept that they were defeated in the 2011 elections, and that as the NRM is settling down to deliver services to the people, the opposition is busy running a damage campaign. But the Honorable Oguttu on the other side is also saying that they are actually entitled to what they are doing, and that they are simply running a disobedience, a campaign he dubs disobedience, civil disobedience, as they prepare for the 2016 elections. Now, of course, before we went for the commercial break, one outstanding issue was on the floor, and this was the Activists for Change organization. And of course, the other day, the NRM and executive in particular, through the Right Honorable Amama Mbabazi, described the Activists for Change as an illegal organization. Honorable Todwong, you subscribe, I think, to the views of the Prime Minister. Can you explain to us how you arrived to this conclusion that the FOC is an illegal organization?
You see, for instance, when we are going to compete for football and we are practicing for a football match, you say now we are practicing for 2016 Champions League, okay? Here comes a team which is not registered, a team which is not known, and a team which is causing confusion around. Definitely such a team can be disqualified. But we see the characteristics of FOC. Definitely they speak like opposition, they move like opposition, they do everything like opposition. So we believe they are opposition. Okay? Now, we say fine, FOC, if you want to come to the political arena, go and get registered as FOC, like FDC did, like UPC did, like everything.
As a political party.
As a political party, then come and contest power. But don't say, today you are FOC, tomorrow you are FDC, the other day is Wafula Oguttu's rally. What kind of amorphous organization is this? Now, to us really we are saying Ugandans are tired of this stampeding around. Honestly, Wafula comrade, we know that people want to settle. Children want to continue going to school without having busy, hectic memories of seeing tear gas, policemen running around and throwing stones and opposition running all over town. Stop that. They are in parliament. Actually, I want to really thank the 9th parliament, because there is nothing under this sun that the 9th parliament cannot discuss. You know that very well. So whatever disagreement you have with the government, the best way to debate and discuss and cause meaningful change and impact is in parliament, not on the streets.
Honorable Todwong, is there any specific article in the law, we have the constitution here, that curtails, that bars any citizen in Uganda from organizing themselves under an organization like FOC?
You see, if you want to come, of course, definitely not any private citizen or anybody can come when there's only time for campaigns. If this time, even under multi-party system, you are bad unless you're a civil society organization which is also supposed to be registered. Unless you're a non-government organization, you're a CBO, you're a political party. Under a multi-party system, you have to have an organization.
But I think
though our constitution also recognizes the rights of independence at certain state.
Yes.
But that is also a problem with the constitution that last time we debated in parliament.
Yes.
Of mixing system. But I'm saying meaningful debate for national transformation and national change.
Let's hear from Honorable Todwong.
There's nothing in the constitution which outlaws the existence of a pressure group. Disallowed. That's why they haven't done anything about it. They can't do anything about it. They can't ban it because it doesn't exist. And what is FOC? It's a pressure group of people from various walks of life, from parties, from civil society, from maybe soldiers, maybe policemen, maybe civil servants, everybody who feels is angry at what government is doing, and who feels wants a change, he goes and expresses himself, or listen to those who are talking. That is the FOC. So you cannot ban FOC.
Why is it
open? The good thing, Chief, is that it is open. It is the leader.
Yeah, you asked me. Let me read to you.
Yeah.
I was a member of the Constitutional Review Committee.
Yeah.
I reviewed this constitution.
Yes.
Article 43.
Yeah.
Please. General limitation on fundamental and other human rights and freedom.
Yes.
You
Can you read
that?
I want to read Article 1 and then 1C. 1. In the enjoyment of the rights and freedom prescribed in this chapter, no person shall prejudice the fundamental or other human rights and freedom of others or the public.
Now read the one.
Or the public interest. Mark that.
Yeah.
No person under this constitution. It's a grand norm. It's
but
you see that?
Can you read it?
If I call
let me read.
Let him read and then you respond.
Any limitation of the enjoyment of the rights and freedom prescribed by this chapter beyond what is acceptable and demonstrably justified in a free and democratic society, or what is provided in this constitution. Anyway, it is
now I read the one which gives the rights to a citizen. That one.
I'm telling you, this article 43, it talks of rights is subject to limitation if it infringes on public interest and it infringes on other people's rights. And that is precisely, when you even look at
you read the one for enjoyment. Read it.
I'll read it for you. Yeah. It's 28. 28.
Yes.
Let me read it for you. But
because the person is always read as a whole.
Expression, movement, right, religious assembly and association.
Yes.
Every person shall have the right to freedom of speech and expression, which shall include freedom of the press and other media.
Yes.
Which is there.
Yes.
Now, Honorable
Article 43.
It doesn't verify. You read them together.
Honorable, how would you respond to this? Of course, you've heard the accusation. You are running an illegal organization, and perhaps you also it would also make sense if you explain to us why are you not operating as political party?
I'm not here as FOC. I'm here as
subscribe to
I attend their activities. I take part in the activities. When they organize them, I go because I'm one of the Ugandans who are internal afflicted by what I see.
But of course,
the corruption, the mismanagement, those are the things we are addressing. The total breakdown of social services in the country, no medicine, no drugs, no doctors. The education system is collapsed. Nobody, no children. You see, what we are doing, what the FOC is doing is opening the eyes of Ugandans that this is happening, and the reason is because of this.
By the way,
this is happening.
For your information,
so
under NRM with the decentralization policy, Ugandans are much more aware of anything that is happening in Uganda, which we give credit to NRM for that. People are much more informed of whatever takes place. Even when you go to your village, your constituency, I'm sure you know, you go to the remotest village, people will tell you what they need, and they even know what they need and how to express themselves.
We have so many people coming to listen to us.
Do you know how many do you buy?
You pay them.
You to my constituency.
You give me the cost and give them money.
You buy. Ugandans are bought to come and listen.
The listeners would like to understand just how far FOC is going to go in its activities.
All the way.
Earlier you hinted at regime change. You hinted at campaigns for 2016. What exactly is the agenda of the FOC?
And what is the difference between FOC and FDC?
To bring awareness to all Ugandans, so that they can take their own destiny in their own hands and cause change, a positive change which will improve on their lives. That's all we are doing.
I want to.
We may be the ones.
If you want to emulate, a revolution is not mobilized. A revolution does not start from a few disgruntled elite leaders. A revolution is a mass movement. If really the cause you stand for,
the story of 27 now.
If the principles you stand for, all Ugandans are standing for, and now I would see everybody walking the walk and running with you by an FOC.
You know the results are there.
But no, let's give an opportunity to Honorable Oguttu to explain.
The results are already there. That's why you see they are losing by elections. That's why you see wherever we go, there are hundreds, thousands and thousands who are walking, coming there. Nobody gives them a cent, even water.
Now you are
not even transport.
Can we if NRM is buying support, would you be losing by election?
No, can you
listen to him and then you respond?
I was in Jinja.
Can you listen to him and then you respond? Yes.
I was in Jinja. I saw the sort of money used there, 1 billion shillings to spend in Jinja. I was in Jinja.
So you were also there. What are you doing there?
No, we don't even have access to money. Hon Richard Todwong, we are going to listen. We came here to debate. You listen to me, I listen to you. So FOC, I'm not a member of I'm not an official of FOC, but when they invite, I've participated in a lot of the activities. I've been thrown on the pickups, I've been taken to jail, like many others have done. I just participate, and my party agrees with the agenda of FOC. We go there to support. We go there.
Do you understand what the agenda is?
To bring awareness, to educate Uganda. Since Uganda is about to know why Uganda is where it is now, why they are in such a bad situation, why the social services have broken down, why there are no roads, why the corruption, you know the
help.
Today, a word million has disappeared in the language of many Uganda. Our leaders now, NRM, they talk in the billions. And you know, the other day, I wrote a word billion, and I was calculating it. If I got a billion now, and I was spending 100 million shillings, 100,000 shillings a day just on my food at my home, it will be taking me about 20 years to finish that money.
Okay. Before we listen to before you come in, Honorable Todwong, I would like Honorable Wafula to also answer this particular question. How about the feeling within government circles that actually FOC is the vehicle that you're trying to use to cause regime change, to overthrow a validly elected government?
No, we don't want to overthrow any government, but the government could collapse along the way because of civil disobedience. We don't want to overthrow them. Why should we? We want a peaceful change of government. If it collapses, if it dies along the way, so be it. We shall be happy. Ugandans will be happy.
So you should also expect, of course, the government to respond
peacefully
with all the machinery that
peacefully, not to kill. They have been killing people, not to kill. They should respond peacefully. Using the law. Honorable Todwong has come out of the Constitution. Use the Constitution, use the law to deal with FOC and what we are doing.
Fine.
Don't use extrajudicial methods.
That is exactly what
this Constitution says. I may not remember the particular article, but I know this Constitution empowers the sitting government to defend itself. Yes. And I had on the floor the other day. The government has a monopoly of coercive.
Then they should remove the
forces.
Then they should remove the courts.
Now, Comrade Wafula,
and then
I want to start with the first thing you're saying, that service delivery is poor, everything is breaking.
Are you going to debate that?
Let me tell you something. you are a leader. Yeah. Okay, you are a leader.
Yes,
Your district is Budaka. Bugiri.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me.
Yeah.
Under decentralization, power is decentralized to local authorities. I want to start with
money.
Hold on, I want to start with the Bugiri as a unit. How much money is sent to Bugiri as a district?
About 15 billion.
About 15 billion. No. About 15 billion, okay?
Yeah.
You are a leader from Bugiri. Even if it was only 1 million sent, how have you supervised that 15 billion that has been sent to Bugiri to do something tangible? That money is not in the hands of anybody, but it's you, the people of Bugiri, including you, the leadership.
Do you know Nwoya Todwong?
That is the test of what you're doing.
Now, most of that money is for salaries.
No. You can't say 15 billion is for salary.
Most of it for salaries.
No.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Let's be serious here.
Government
sends money for roads, water, all these programs that you know. Now I'm asking you, as a leader from Bugiri, what tangible projects have you encouraged your people to do with this money? It's even in my district they send money. Government, NRM government does not administer the country from the center. Power is decentralized to the lowest level. Now, when we come to the center, you have been talking ably of all these things. Of course, you really encourage me that at the beginning you said you're now starting to mobilize to contest for 2016, which is normal. But to me, really, I say let's not stampede the country. Let's not stampede our citizens. Let Ugandans settle, produce, work, and tomorrow we shall come to campaign platform and you present yourself.
Okay, at this point we have to hear from the listeners. Of course, dear listeners, you can now join this debate by calling 0414-348-111. That is 0414-348-111. You can also call 0312-260-390. You can also call 0312-261-390. We have a caller on the line. Your name and your comment, please. Yes, Henry Bazira.
Thank you for the discussion. But I would be very shocked to see the opposition and the NRM in bed together. Number two, Honorable Todwong needs to read the Constitution very, very clearly. He cannot use it selectively, because the Constitution is very clear that it gives the citizens of Uganda freedom of expression, association, and the rights are limited, and even the limitations are properly explained. So, FOC or whatever other pressure groups might be formed are formed under the Constitution. And I think it has been well explained that because they're operating under the constitutional provision, that is why they're probably not in jail by now. So I think we should not mislead Ugandans.
Let's take our next caller. Hello, caller.
Hello?
Yes, your name and comment.
I'm called Linus from Facebook.
Yes, Linus.
Yes, well, I know this FOC, there's very many hooligans. Their intention is to disorganize this government. But the government is right to defend the people and the citizens.
I'm object to that, definitely. He must change his language.
Hello?
Linus, I object to that.
Let's take our next caller.
Yes, good evening, gentlemen.
Yes, good evening.
I would like to make it...
your name first. Your name? Your name?
This is Uganda. You cannot continue arguing the fact that the NRM government has failed to provide social services. First and foremost, this government is under siege for failure to provide social services. Even the president is very aware of that, and anything that has so far threatened their popularity in power, or anything that has threatened their staying power, has been met with brutal force, and that is against the law. Secondly, I'd like to also say that Article 143 in the Constitution should be read hand in hand with Article 129. Article 29, if you read it chronologically, is reached before reaching Article 143. Now, Article 143 limits people's rights on the basis that, one, it should not infringe on other people's rights, and then two, it should not be against public interest. Now, my question to Honorable Todwong is, who defines public interest in this country? Is the activist for saying FOC's action against public interest, and who defines that public interest? Is public interest defined by the police? You know. So, thank you very much, and that is my question to him.
Maybe unless he's
Yes, caller, if you don't mind, please move away from your radio before you ask your question.
Hello?
Yes, your name and comment.
Hello?
Hello, I can hear you.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, your name and comment.
Yes, my name is Richard, and I'm calling from Chihuahua.
Yes, Richard.
Yes, I've been listening to the discussion from the two gentlemen, Todwong and Wafula Oguttu. First, I would like to advise Todwong that do not heckle when Wafula Oguttu is trying to raise a point, because you try to dominate and you're making it seem to be a debate. But I would like to go straight to Todwong is saying that we are under the centralization system and is trying to question the Wafula Oguttu as a leader. What is utilizing the money sent by central government? I know Todwong is a member of parliament for Nwoya district, and I would like to ask Todwong directly. Todwong, you as a leader, what have you done in Nwoya district in ensuring that the money sent by central government is properly utilized for development projects? Two, as a leader in Nwoya district, what have you done to ensure that money being diverted from projects to projects by the same government that you serve? What have you done? Three, as a leader, what have you done on sensitizing your own people about land issues?
One last caller. Spectrum, hello.
Hello, this is Alexander.
Your name, please, and comment.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, this is Alexander. I'm saying...
Yes, Alexander.
0.003% of Ugandans don't know this. But I got intelligence from Mossad that the President Museveni, the first time he came to power, he was never elected. Yeah? This means to remove him is going to be very, very hard. He's a rightful leader of Uganda, and Uganda will never have a president like Museveni. Good day.
return to the studio. I think we should start with you, Honorable Todwong. So many questions coming to you. One particular question: what have you done for your people that you represent in Nwoya?
Well, that is a question asked by someone in Kampala. If I am to spend time speaking about Nwoya here, definitely someone from Nwoya would even call and support what I'm saying.
Nevertheless, you tell that is
Nwoya is a district that has just started. Nwoya started in the last financial year in 2000 in July of 2010. Now, it has now been about coming to 2 years that Nwoya has been a district. Already, as for our budget, as I speak now, by June this year, Nwoya would be having 14 billion in its account that has already been spent. The roads are being worked on. The water points, we are giving more water to the community. We are doing health centers. We are doing renovations of health centers. We are even building more teachers' houses in the district. We are opening more community roads and maintaining the old roads that are there.
So
we are making bridges.
So you are making progress.
We are making progress, and I have to inform this caller that I have a very committed team of young people who are in the district and coordinating with us, and we are doing so well.
Okay.
I wish, and you also need to know that Nwoya is the district with almost the highest oil deposit, if I may use that word, in Uganda.
Oh.
So we are rich in natural resources. We are now encouraged that government has come up with a law in parliament. We are going to participate heavily in debating how this oil resource is going to be utilized by the country, and we are going to be heavily participating and involving the community. We are going to consult the community in all these things. But that aside, this question by Richard from Chiwatule I told him it's a good question because it's a challenge to all we leaders, both me, Wafula, and everybody, that before you throw stones at Museveni and his government, NRM government is sending money to everybody in his own area, in his own district. Start by asking yourself, this little money that has been sent to me and to our area, how have I helped my district and my local leaders to utilize the small money so that we act as role models to those who are failing to utilize the much money they have at the center?
Yeah, one other question that was directed to you was, who defines public interest? Because you seem to be arguing that...
It is not who, it is what. The what is the constitution. It is here. It is here. I read it before. Public interest and public order, all that is here in the constitution. So it is not to say, today I wake up from my house, I decide to go and demonstrate, I decide to go and walk naked in town, I decide to go and do anything. No, there must be public order. You can't say this road that we use for coming to Radio 1 is a one-way street. You can't start driving from down coming up because you have your freedom to drive. There must be order. You can't say, since Kampala Road, the other side is the keep, Uganda is keep left, you want to start keeping right because you have your interest in keeping right. No, there must be order. In a democracy, there is order. That is what I'm saying.
Honorable Wafula.
You know, when I was a very strong NRM person, I was a UPM, I was card number 46 of UPM, I was a founder member of UPM. When my friends were in the bush, I was here, but a supporter.
You chickened out?
No, I didn't chicken out. I did some other things. And the NRM came with a manifesto, the 10-point program. And they used to talk about an economy which is integrated, national, self-sustaining economy. I was very excited. I've been teaching that. I was teaching political economy in my career. I was very, it was resonating my own thinking, because, but I've been greatly disappointed. Honorable Todwong is saying they send money to all the districts. First of all, the money is spent on too large an administration. Some of the gombololas which have been turned into districts, not be districts, most of the money is going into consumption, in salary. Now, this NRM government, instead of putting money into agriculture, instead of putting money into factories, they are spending money, instead of giving money to Wafula and Todwong, and so that we can invest this money in these things and create wealth and employ people who are productive. They are spending money on creating districts and on salaries and on stupid things which we spend on sometimes. Today, it was very interesting
Are you saying that
Today,
there are stupid things that
no,
sometimes
with the expenditures, there are some very stupid expenditures, really, I think they are.
Can you cite,
for instance, we have 10 billion shillings in the budget, this budget, current budget, for medals. We have another 10 billion for patriotic classes. We have that in the budget. Medals, those stupid medals. Something very interesting. In the morning, there was a group from President's office. They're asking, the president has overspent his budget by almost 100 billion shillings. He wants more money.
92 billion.
No, about 100 billion. He wants that. That money, they're asking, government is asking, please give us that money, must give us that money. The president must work very well. During the afternoon in Parliament, we had been asking for 7 billion to go and help the dying kids in molding disease. And the government was opposing that.
No,
they can't say
I don't allow that. You see, honestly, I am an MP. You say the government has denied that is wrong.
The government wants to give 1 billion only. That's what the government told us. The minister told us. That the government must find money. They have money. They have a billion for the president, but don't have even.
They came with a work plan for that.
1.1 billion. That's what I said.
Minister has a budget
of you how the purpose of the government.
Our last caller indicated to you. Our last caller indicated to you, Honorable Oguttu, that President Museveni is the best that Uganda has seen.
I really wanted to laugh about that.
Of course, we will not appreciate
because President Museveni has done great things. I accept he has done some good things, but President Museveni has done very bad things. And his major problem are three. He has not invested in production. He has not invested in building institutions. Everything's around him. And he has refused to hand over power peacefully.
As we wind up,
state building is not a 1 day's work. It's not a 1 month or 10 years. Or America that you like so much evolved over a period of almost 200 years. Europe, you know the history of the evolution of states. Now, this is not to say President Museveni has been around for the last 20 years. Everything should now look like star.
Actually,
with the correcting errors of 2000 years. You can take 10 of his years as
can you imagine a man who said the problem of Africa is overstaying the power? Overstaying the power for 30 years?
This debate will definitely continue in the corridors as we leave this place, but on Radio 1 Spectrum, it has to come to an end. I must thank the Honorable Philip Wafula Oguttu, Bukholi Central Member of Parliament, spokesman of the FDC and Shadow Minister of Information and National Guidance. Thank you very much for coming to Spectrum.
Thank you, sir.
I must also thank the Honorable Richard Todwong, Nwoya County Member of Parliament, also former Presidential Advisor on Northern Uganda. Thank you very much for coming to Spectrum. And listeners, yours Kenneth Lukwago, who has been your host this evening. Spectrum returns tomorrow. Please stay tuned to Radio 1 for the upcoming news bulletin.
Promotion kutoka MTN. We 10 million shillings every